Hey YouTube, it's me, Nezerac, and we're back with another Nez's RE video. Today we're doing things a little bit different. My brother's visiting from Korea, and I have his blue snowball microphone, so I figured, hey, let's test this video out. Let's see what's going on with it, and let's see what kind of audio quality, and I mean basically see if my subscribers like this better than they like my regular videos, which I'm not too sure because I'm a bit of an animated individual, and I think that that kind of lends itself a little bit to the entertainment factor of my videos. But I'm sitting here drinking a Kona Fire Rock. I didn't want to duct tape it. Actually, I wanted to plug those guys because this is a delicious pale ale, and I just wanted to talk about something that is in the media that people aren't really talking about. But I'm gonna take a sip of my Fire Rock, and we're gonna get this show on the road. Oh yeah, oh that's delicious. Fire Rock, Kona. That was my shameless plug for those guys. It's actually really good. It's not like godly, but it's definitely good. So anyway, basically the subject, I'm pretty sure as you can tell by the video headline, is California wildfires and the California drought. And there's a relation here that a lot of people aren't talking about in the mainstream media, in media in general. And basically, I think the California drought has a lot more to do with the California forest than a lot of, I can't even say like media or mainstream outlets are letting on, because media and mainstream outlets aren't even talking about it really. They just say, oh, there's a fire, people died. That's all anybody cares about when there's a fire. Nobody stops to think about how the loss of the forest of the life, the water saturating, the water conserving forest, the water transpirating trees really affects our environment, how it has an effect on climate change, how basically we've lost quite a bit of forest just, okay, since 2003 is where I'm gonna, start my assessment, because the California wildfires, I lived in Highland, California at the time, and it was so smoky, it was like, you couldn't see anything, basically. It was so smoky, I lived literally walking distance, and when I say walking distance, I don't mean like a 30-minute walk. I mean 10 or 15 minutes up a hill to where you're in the San Bernardino Hills in Highland, California, right by Serrano Middle School. I'm not sure if any of you guys know where that is, but San Manuel Indian Casino, I lived literally right around the corner from that place. And I mean, that's how close we are to the mountains. That's right on the reservation. Like, if you guys know the area, you know what I'm talking about. You can Google it. Google Maps see exactly what I'm saying. But we couldn't see the mountains, okay? Less than a mile away from the mountains. Like we couldn't see the mountains, and we were that close. So that should give you guys some sort of idea of how smoky it was and why it's such a prominent memory for me. But in that one fire in 2003, I don't think it was October. I'm pretty sure it was like July or something. So maybe it was 2002. It was like 150,000 acres or something like that. But I'm looking at Wikipedia, the largest fires in Southern California. We have July 2002. We're going to start from there. And that was 150,696 acres. Yes, it's Wikipedia. Yes, there can be better sources for this. But we're just looking for a general estimate of how many acres were lost, because nobody really knows. Nobody went out there and actually measured how many acres were lost, okay? So this is probably as good as it's really gonna get. In 2003, October 2003, we had another 108,204 acres lost. And then again in 2003, we had another 273,000 acres lost, okay? And then in 2006, we had another 162,000 acres lost. We might as well say 163,000, because it's 162,702 acres lost September of 2006, okay? We had another 240,000 acres lost in July of 2007. We had another 197,990, so 198,000, possibly 200,000 acres lost in October 2007. So just in that 1 year, over 500,000 acres lost, okay? Well, about 500,000 acres lost, okay? So it's like, with this stuff regularly happening, and we're just having year after year after year of hundreds of thousands of acres being lost, okay? Over 100,000 acres being lost every year of forest. When are people going to start talking about the fact that, you know, maybe that's contributing to the fact that we have a drought? Because all of this is pre-drought, okay? The drought really started in like 2012. So when we started noticing a drought. Before that, we had well over half. We had two fires in 2003, two fires in 2003. That was over 300,000 acres, and another fire in 2007 that was close to another 3,000 acres. And between those 2 years, we had another 162,000 acres lost. So basically, what I'm getting at here is the fires are fucking real, dude. I mean, this is really something that's detrimental to our climate, to California's ability to regulate the water supply. Because I mean, nobody really thinks about the fact that trees hold soil, they retain water, they shade the land so the water doesn't evaporate too quickly, and they allow the water to actually sink into the ground. So whatever the tree's not taking up is starting to sink back into the groundwater. Now we have farmers who are pumping water out the ground fast, like 2,500 feet down is how far they're digging or drilling for their wells to get groundwater for their crops, which is kind of understandable because California, yeah, we have Hollywood, but we have a pretty booming agriculture industry as well. It's necessary for us to do that, but I feel like we're only exacerbating the problem. I feel like after we had all those fires, we should have had a comprehensive program to start actually planting trees and rebuilding those forests and rejuvenating the forest, instead of just saying, okay, the fire is out, everything's good. You know, like, this isn't 1946. Those forests aren't growing back the way they used to. And I think a lot of people in the media, I hate to say scientists as well, but I haven't heard too many scientists come out. To be completely honest, I haven't heard any scientists come out and say, you know, hey, the forests are really depleted in California, and it's because we've had a bunch of fires, and not to mention the boll weevil infestation that's killing our trees. It's our forest, dude. That is quintessentially where the drought is. And I'm gonna post pictures on here so you guys can see why I'm so adamant of the forest. Because when you look at these numbers and you think about how big an acre is, an acre is not very large. But when you have hundreds of thousands of acres in multiple years being lost, you got to think about it, dude. Like, that's gonna add up, and that's gonna create a situation to where, you know, your ecosystem's fucked. You know, like, just adding wolves back to Yellowstone National Park created a situation to where the animals weren't overeating all the vegetation, and now, you know, the ecosystem's balanced more. We don't have any wolves in California. We do have some wildlife, and this microphone seems like it's picking up a little bit too much. We'll scoot you guys back a little bit. But the reality of the situation is that we're not going back and planting trees. We're not going back. We're assuming that the forest can heal itself like it did 100 years ago. And the reality of the situation is that 100 years ago, you know, was a completely different situation. Other parts of the world weren't so dry and so hard to freaking maintain. Like, basically, long story short, we should be looking at our forest. I'm not even sure if you want to call it not a meteorologist or a freaking climate change expert. I'm just using my keep it simple stupid logic here as a mechanic. You know, like, the first thing you check in auto mechanics before you start, you know, pulling out scanners and doing really deep diagnosis to find out what's wrong with the engine. You know, like, before you pull out an oscilloscope and start measuring freaking waves, wave signals and all this other shit, you look for a vacuum leak. You look for a low battery, because a low battery will cause issues that you did not expect to, you know, be caused. Like, you look for the simple things first. And after, I'd like to say, from 2002 to 2016, we've had pretty much a yearly fire. Like, you can look down the list on Wikipedia and you'll see that we've had a yearly fire in California, and at minimum 100 and what? Let me see what the lowest one is. At minimum 100,000 acres, to be conservative here. 100,000 acres was lost at minimum every time that happened. Okay, you're losing 100,000 acres of forest every year. What the fuck do you think is gonna happen, dude? That's our problem. And I hate to say it, like, some people don't like how older people like to lord their wisdom and knowledge over it, but old timers are the ones who were saying it before, like, oh, the wildfires are really damaging the forest, they're really hurting California. I heard a guy say this when I was back in 2003. He's like, that really hurts California's forest in general, because it speeds up the process for creatures like the boll weevil to start, eating young trees before they have a chance to grow. It speeds up the process for everything else that's already growing in the forest to keep on happening. So it's like, these old timers who knew about this shit back in 2002, 2003, it's starting to be a reality, to be completely honest. Like, we are in a situation to where California's forests are starting to show how important they really are. Okay, so I kind of wanted to do the math on here, but I'm just gonna post it on here and let you guys do the math because I'm a lazy asshole. But realistically, until we start coming up with some sort of program, some sort of idea, some sort of plan to really rebuild California's forest and put some taxpayer money into it, put some freaking California money into it, because let's be honest here, it's not like Californians aren't tree huggers. I'm a gearhead, but I'm a Californian, so I love nature just as much as I love cars. A lot of people don't understand that with Californians. They think that we're crazy, that we're smog Nazis, which we kind of are out here. But our population's so dense, and you can do so many things in California that it makes sense to regulate smog emissions, because back in the 60s that was killing people. So anyway, that's a whole nother topic for a whole nother video. I just really wanted to talk about that. So if we look, okay, I guess I don't have a choice. I went through the trouble of making a video. I might as well do it big for you guys, because without my subscribers, what the hell am I gonna do? So let's make this video. Let's put this video on level 2. Okay, so I didn't prepare for this, so we're gonna have to do this the hard way. So we're gonna go all the way back just to 2002, where I started at July of 2002, which was 150,000. Okay, there's no comma on my keyboard. I don't think I really needed a comma. 150,696 acres burned, plus 108,204, plus 273,246 acres. Jesus Christ, dude, that's insane. Plus 162,000, 702 acres. 102 acres plus 240,207 acres plus 197,990 acres. 990 acres plus, because that's already at like 1 million, I think. That can't be 150,000, because it's way higher. Plus, okay, so where are we at? It's at 197, yeah, 990. Now we are at 192,000. 038. Plus 162,818 plus 160,557 plus 315,577 plus 257,000 314 plus 132,833. Sorry, I have to like find my place every time I look away from here. Plus 151,623. All of that adds up to it's a big number. 2,505,805 acres since 2002. So to give you guys an idea of how large that is, we're gonna convert 2,505,805 acres to square miles. Acres to square miles. Or I think I just saw miles squared actually. Google guesses your shit before you do it. This one thing is great. To square miles. So that equals 3,915 square miles of forest that burned down. Never mind the structures, all the animals, all the shit that died with that. That is 3,915 square miles that will no longer be producing oxygen, no longer retaining water, no longer naturally cooling the environment it's in. That is 3,000, pretty much 400,000, because I didn't add anything prior to 2002, because right in front of 2002 is 1999, and that's another 140,000 acres. So I mean, you can see how this turns into a big situation, a big fucking problem. Okay, like it's a big problem, dude, and nobody's talking about it. None of the politicians are talking about it. Nobody wants to address this problem because it costs money, and everybody feels like if it costs money, it's a problem that deserves to be ignored, and that's the problem that we have in California right now. San Bernardino, pretty much like just going bankrupt. And you know, the people who are in charge of the San Bernardino City Council, making sure that they get their raises, like little shit like that is what's wrong with California right now. Daryl Issa, that piece of shit, another thing that's wrong with California right now. But after going through all that trouble, reading just from 2002 to 2015, I mean, we have to realize that at some point the forests are dying for a reason. You know, everybody thinks climate change is a joke until they're affected by it. So once you start paying $5 for a loaf of bread, or freaking, you know, $30 for a gallon of milk, you know, like once that shit starts to hit home, people are gonna start caring. But right now, I'm here to say that part of our issue is we're fucking with the balance of things. And it seems like, honestly, the hotter it gets, the worse the forest fires have gotten. Because in the last, from 2002, 2005, there were no great fires in California. I think they paid attention to it after the 2003 fire, because it was big. I remember that one. Or 2002 fire, whichever one it was. The San Bernardino fires, they were big and people paid attention to it. But I mean, long story short, you guys, we gotta fix it. We gotta start fixing it now, and we gotta stop, you know, pretending that these aren't gonna be issues that are gonna stop. You know, I mean, like, I don't know how else to say it. Basically, we need to spend some fucking money rebuilding our forest. If we start to invest in the forest, everything else will start to fall in place. I mean, it's not like having the mountains watered is gonna, like, you know, destroy the rest of the environment. It's not like, you know, spending that little bit of water there is gonna ruin everything else. Not only that, you know, while we got El Nino and all this other stuff happening, you know, all these adverse weather events that are bringing a little bit more water to California, I think we need to jump on it, man. We need to make this into a snowball effect, to where all this government land, all this protected stuff that we're protecting, I mean, like, between Bakersfield, California and Barstow, California, there is literally endless desert for like an hour of driving. I say that, you know, we start to take certain portions of that and we make it into forest. We make it into something that's gonna start giving back to the environment. You know, and you may say, you know, hey, biomes, once you get so high, you know, the forests don't like it. You know, forests like their deciduous biome better, but at the same time, it's like you can make that argument about anything. I mean, realistically, damn, I'm talking too loud. Realistically, the issue is our forest. The desert biome isn't growing larger. We're getting less water, and we're having our trees destroyed every year. Our forest we're just losing hundreds of thousands of acres every year, and it's starting to bite us in the ass. The fact that we put out the fire, and once the fire is out, everything's okay. You know, like we count the damage by the loss of structures instead of the loss of forest. That's all biting us in the ass. Anyway, this is Nezarek. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. This is a new setup. I'm only gonna do a few videos tonight based on this setup, and if you guys like it, you know, drop me a line. Freaking, it's only $70 for the mic, so I might go out and pick one up myself. So let me know what you guys think about this setup. Let me know how you guys feel about it versus my regular videos where you have to like look at my face and understand my weird personality. Basically, let me know. Anyway, this is Nezarek. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. Feel free to like and subscribe. Deuces.